Hi everyone, it's Steve. Welcome to a Nepean Nerd Fest. Um, I thought I would put up a tutorial combining two things. Uh, the art of learning lines when you're by yourself and technology, maybe three things, and Xbox 360 and fusing all these things which occur in my life and some of them which I'm very passionate about. I'm passionate about Mac. I really like online gaming and I love acting. And they all come together. They all came together the other day because I was actually playing an online game and I was learning lines at the same time. And I figured out a way to do that. People think, probably off the bat, oh, this is ridiculous. But that was really ideal. But I actually learned the lines really well. I think because I had the distraction and I could concentrate on the one thing for 2 hours. So I'm a Mac user. I love them. I really discovered them a couple of years ago, and I thought that having a little bit of knowledge about them and the things I like to do and play with them, that I could impart that and show you the way that I kind of fused it all together to make it work for me as an actor. So one of the things that happens often is in a casting situation, I'll get lines a couple of days before, and I hate that. I like to have a week. I like to have them baked. I like to have them in my body so I can go in there and I can forget about them and I can concentrate on the other person in the scene and not, thinking about, God, is that the right line, or if I'm paraphrasing, because sometimes paraphrasing works, and casting directors, I've never really had one that's been overly precious about the lines, unless you change it completely. But they don't mind if you paraphrase. But there's one thing to go in and feel confident in your paraphrasing, and the other thing to go, oh God, what am I saying? And where am I? And I mean, I had a pretty horrific experience once where I was given a monologue. It was like 4 or 5 pages, and actually, maybe not. Okay, it was a speech, and it was probably one A4 page at 18 font with 2 point spacing, and it was a lot to learn. It was US accent, and all I did in the whole audition was think about the accent, how crappy it sounded, because that went downhill when I started thinking, I don't know, they're like next line, and my paraphrasing. You get into this judgment thing. You're judging what you're saying. You're judging everything, and you're not in the scene. And so casting directors in the US, not that I've worked there, but I know I've been told that if you have your script in hand, that's kind of cool. They don't mind that. But if you don't have your script in hand in the US, then they might mistake that as arrogance. Whereas in Australia, we're more fond of being off script and getting in there and doing it. That's how the casting agents kind of view it. But that is relaxing, and I've been in situations where I simply had to have the script in hand. And at the end of the day, too, casting agents, although they are intimidating, are trying to. Once you get to know them, they are trying to help you. Especially if they keep getting you in, you realise that they're not just another firewall for you to get past as an actor, but they're trying to help you get the job. They want the best result for you, and that if you go in with that psychology, it really helps the situation. If anything I'm saying is obvious to you, look, feel free to switch off, laugh, or keep listening. You might pick up a tip in another area. So, um, when you go in there, you want to know the line so well so that you don't have to worry about the line, so that the scene breathes and it's kind of organic. And, you know, there is an argument that says, well, if you know them so well, you kind of gut the performance and there's nothing spontaneous about it. But I don't know about that. I'd just rather have that solid foundation there and I don't have to worry about it because then I am communicating with the other person and I'm not even thinking about what I'm necessarily saying. That's just coming out of my body and I'm marrying that with intention or however I go into the scene, whatever I want to bring to the scene. I like all the Meisner stuff. I like being created by the other person and I like having that fall out of my body. That's how I work as an actor. But if it all falls apart and I go in there and the director's there, or some producer, or someone I don't know, or there's 10 other people, or there's the heating's turned up and I'm sweating, or if I rehearse with a chair and they say, no, Steve, actually, we want you to stand up for this, anything could happen. And, often you set things up as a handrail. And if you're having a bad day, Because some days you can go in there and you learnt the lines, you got them the day before, you learnt them and you're amazing. And you walk in, think, oh, it's amazing, which probably means you haven't got the job. But some days it all happens. But it's not like that every day. And this is a good system to have so that if it's not all on, at least you've got there as a backup plan. I'm a great believer in the backup plans. So what happens is often if you're time poor or it's difficult, I've got 2 young boys and my partner, she's great when she helps me with the lines, but not always available. Or your friend, I have some great friends that have helped me over the years do blocking and sort all that sort of stuff out. And if they're not available, then you're stuck by yourself. So then what I do is I record the lines. Oh, that sounds pretty obvious. Well, look, this is the way I do it. And I sort of perfected this system over a while, but what I use is GarageBand. You can go to other systems and, PC based, and you can find ways to record your cues. This is the way I do it. If you haven't got GarageBand, although I think it's the default program with the Leopard operating system, or iLife 09, then if you've got Final Cut Pro or anything like that, you can just use the audio tracks in that, as long as you can export it. That's the main thing. So what I do is when I get a scene, I'll do 2 versions. I'll record 2 versions, one with all the dialogue and one with just the cues of the other person. And that way, when I'm listening to it on the bus, or I'm doing the washing up, or I'm jogging, or patrolling around the neighborhood naked with my iPhone in my hand, I can listen to the cues, and when I have all the dialogue, then I can just parrot back what I'm saying. And then I actually record another track, which is just the other person's cues. So then, when it comes to my dialogue, there's a gap, and I say my dialogue in there, and if I get it wrong, then the next time it rolls around to the scene with all the cues, I know I can parrot it and do it by rote, and then I just keep doing that, and the next time I might get it right when I'm just doing the cue take. When you're recording the cues and you're reading your bits in your head and leaving a gap, just add 20%, because you read a lot faster in your head than you actually do out loud. You don't want to be stomping on the next cue and then getting a little anxious and getting aggravated. You want to keep it a nice, even, slow pace so that everything slows down, so you can kind of rebuild it when you know it and it's in your body. And then what I do is, as you've seen here with GarageBand, I had 2 scenes in a recent audition, and I did scene 1, all scene 1 cues. And then I did that for scene 2 as well, all and cues. I just call them all, because all the dialogue's in this take, and the cues are in this second take. And then what I do is I go share, and you can send that song to iTunes, or you can export it to disk and MP3 encoding. You can do it at low quality audio settings. What do we got here? Good, higher. I just go low quality. Don't take up too much space. And then export that to your desktop and save it scene 1 cues. Make sure you do that, because if you don't customize each export, then obviously everything's going to be called, I think I called this project Seeker Cues because it was for Legend of the Seeker. So once you've done that, you send it to your iTunes in your iPhone. Yay! And what I find really useful, now this is a bit of a disaster here because I've got my headphones all wrapped up together, but okay. What you find on the headphones, I'm not going to show you because look, this is a mess. On your headphones, the default ones which are provided with your iPhone or your Nano or whatever, actually it's only on the iPhone. You've got a little button on one of the speakers. It's about halfway down, and that's a microphone. But what I also didn't know was that it's actually got a little button, and you click it, and you do 1 click to pause, 2 clicks to forward, 3 clicks to reverse or play the previous track. So iPhone's really good for playing it off, and iTunes is particularly good because you can put it in a folder, label it, whatever the gig is, and then you can loop it. So you're not sitting there hitting pause all the time or fast forward. It just goes around and around and around, so you can listen to it and not have to search for the button. Or if you don't have the button, you don't have to sit there and, you know, go to the screen and fiddle around with that business. You can do it on your phone. In iPhone, there's you know, a recorder. There's a thing on iTunes that's free. It's called Note to Self Recorder. You can do that, and it creates a file, and it's really good quality, all that sort of thing. I may be wrong, but the last time I looked at some of those, they don't loop. It's just an individual recording, so you don't have to sit there and after every scene go to the screen, hit forward again. It's a pain in the bum. So I just do it through iTunes. That's my theory. And then what you can do is you can stream that through to your Xbox 360. Now, what I use is a program called Views. Let's look it up here. The world's most powerful BitTorrent application in the world. Okay, and there it is. Find, download, play. Download Views. You can get it for Mac version 4.2 there. You install that, and then you get a screen that kind of looks like this. Can I expand that? Can, yeah. Okay, beautiful. And the screen kind of looks like this. And then you go up to these tabs here, and you can see here, you probably can't see it that well, it says My Xbox. What you do is you download on this area here, you drag the file into, and it might have to convert it in some circumstances. Sorry, you download the program, and then you get your tracks out of iTunes, drag it into the Xbox folder, and it'll stream it to your Xbox. Now, if you're playing single player, that's cool. There won't be any lag. If you're playing on multiplayer and you need lots of bandwidth, then, you know, Views is going to be uploading other torrents and sharing, and it's going to get a bit slow. So my recommendation is that if you want to do multiplayer and listen to your cues, then I'd stick it on a flash drive, take that flash drive, stick it in the USB port in your Xbox 360. Yes, you got 2 USB ports. And then go to, you know, sign in, go to your music folder, check out, it'll say portable device, and then in the folder you can grab the cues, you can build a playlist with that, then you can, you know, whack your headphones on or just have it through the speakers and the TV, and it will play out of your flash drive as an AVI or MP3, and then you can play your online game and just put the sound down, mute it. And it's actually kind of weird but therapeutic, because I was playing really well the other day. And, you know, I was playing on line 16 players, and I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear any of the audio. I had it muted, but I just had the cues rolling around in my head. And it's a perfect excuse to say to your partner, baby, I got to go and do some work now. I got to go and, you know, learn my lines. And then she'll see you playing Xbox and say, well, what are you doing? How's the acting going? We need to bring some more money. What are you doing? And he say, I'm earning. There's another whole other argument there, which I won't go into. So there you go. That's my little tutorial on Mac. I think Mac is really cool for helping you as an actor get certain things done. You know, cutting reels, updating websites. If you're a bit of a net nerd like me, then you can't live without them. And you can also do it on PC. Like if you want to stream, you can use Windows Media Center. You can also use Windows Media Player version 11 and above. Will just open with sharing. And also Zune will do it as well. So there's a few approaches, and I wish you good luck in your next audition. The other thing I'll say is, if you know people like this, or if you get anything out of it, then there's a couple other things I'd bring to the table. One is I've got an old show I did, which is a behind-the-scenes look at Shove People, which I shot in 2002, and there's about 30-something Nepean grads in that program, so, you know, people might get a laugh out of that. And the other thing, too, is I can maybe put up a bit of a tutorial for anyone who's interested in learning about reading commercials and promos, because I've done it for over 20 years, and, you know, there's a bit of an art to it, and I've learned it both ways. I've learned it the commercial way when I, you know, used to work in commercial radio, which I started in 1986, and then as an actor when I trained, there's so much I learned about voice and about connecting to language and learning a different way to read. So if you, you know, if we do get a few people interested in this, then I can put some more stuff up. So That's about it. Thanks for listening to my rant. This is Steve, and good luck on your next casting. See ya.